Do you ever feel like you separate from your skin color and you're just a person?
Only in the environments that I have intentionally created. When I go out in the world, I know that I'm viewed as a Black woman with all of the stereotype that's associated with that. Yeah, of course I do.
Right. So when you're comfortable and you don't feel the pressures of the outside world, that's when you can forget about the the housing of your soul, so to speak, what your external and physical appearance. You can forget about that finally when you're relaxed and not hit with the stimuli of the outside world.
Exactly. That is where the comfort of my home and my intimate community. When I'm out in the world, do you know what? I was having my home rebuilt, and I was at the Home Depot looking at bathroom fixtures and all of that. And this white couple, they never said anything to me. And it wasn't that they didn't say it, just that, we were just passing people, but they were in the same section. And when they turned the corner, something about them almost knocked me down. I had to sit down. I had to gather myself. There was something that I had to sit there and I had to say a mantra that I'm worth something. Their being, and that was the first time that had ever happened so strongly to me, that their simple presence, what they stood for, what they knew, what they believed in, the power that they have, it was like an assault. And I had to sit down and build myself back up internally. They never said a word to me, and I never said a word to them. Wow. So I don't know how often that happens to Black people. I don't know who is responsible for it, but I know for me and for my children and my family, we have decided that blame is useless. Blaming somebody, waiting for somebody to grow a heart or something, but that we develop strategies and techniques that we can continue walking with our heads up, not falling into alcoholism, because there's a lot of functional alcoholics, functional drug addicts. And now this whole onslaught of the legalized drugs and the horrible, horrible condition of the Black community's health in an attempt to, to not just curl up and die in this place. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we have no other place to go. I talk to people, Mexicans, for example, they're here, but they have a home. And I try to tell every Black person I know to own this America that is here, because this is our home. We have no other place to go.
Mm. Wow. Again, I'm really struck by the sheer power of the alienation that you feel. It's like you're strong on the one side, but the alienation from a sense of like integrating into the world that you live in, is so strong. I mean, I have to imagine that you grew up in a time of messaging that was just so harmful. It probably made an enormous impact that still lives. I mean, is that true?
You know what? In the Bay Area, in my family, when I grew up, I must say, I didn't realize that I was Black. Oh. I did that. There was no messaging that made me feel like that. Not until I was faced with whether I could make a career out of the modeling thing. Did I realize that my Blackness was a negative? Up until then, I hadn't I hadn't felt any racism or anything. You know, I'm just a kid and I'm doing my best, and you know. And then when I moved to this beautiful place, I currently live in a little place called Elk Grove. When I came here, I said, aha, that's what my folks have been talking about. Because then I felt that racism uncovered. But to me, since I could do nothing to change it, I'm thinking brighter minds than me have attempted to solve this. So I'm not going to, that's not my path. My path was whenever any of the racist behavior or I'm feeling something when it comes up, I take it as a challenge and find another way.